G'day YouTubers, I will review last week's round of the 2024 AFL season. Before I start, it will be appreciated if you can subscribe to my channel. Please help me get to 1,000 subscribers. The first game of the week is between St Kilda and the Western Bulldogs on a Thursday night on 18th of April at Marvel Stadium. The final score was St Kilda 9 goals 10, 64 to the Western Bulldogs 19 goals 10, 124. The Bulldogs won by 60 points. The goal kickers for the Saints were 3 goals to Membray, singles to Jones, Canamini, Garcia, Sharman, Wilson and Owens. The goal kickers for the Bulldogs were 6 goals to Norton, 3 goals to Bontempelli and Waitman, and singles to McRae, Darcy, Dale, Treloar, West, English and Gallagher. The best players for the Saints were Wanganing Miller, Steele and Windhanger. The best players for the Bulldogs were Johannesson, Gray, Norton, Waitman, Dale and Treloar. St Kilda suffered one injury for them, with Butler doing the right hamstring. The Bulldogs jumped off to a good start by kicking 7 goals to 1 in the first quarter to lead by 37 points. They continued this onslaught in the second quarter by kicking 5 goals to 3 in the second quarter to lead by 47 points. In the third quarter, the Doggies continued this by kicking 5 goals to 1 to take a 47-point lead. And in the final quarter, which was junk time, St Kilda won that quarter by kicking 4 goals to 2. And overall, the Saints had lost by 10 goals and the Doggies winning by 60 points. For the Saints, the player with the highest disposal was Hill with 31 disposals, followed by Windhanger and Steele with 29 and 27 disposals respectively. For the Bulldogs, Dale amassed 39 possessions, followed by Treloar and Johannesson, both getting 31 disposals each. For the stats, the Western Bulldogs won disposals by plus 85. They had 74 more kicks. They had plus 10 inside 50, with their efficiency inside 50 plus 14% more than St Kilda. That's a significant big difference. In stoppages, the Bulldogs were plus 8, and in clearances, they were plus 2. For possessions contested, the Bulldogs were plus 10, and uncontested, they were plus 65. And the stat that matters is turnovers, where the Bulldogs were minus 8, and being negative is good in turnovers because you want less turnovers than your opposition. The Bulldogs had taken 74 more marks than the Saints, and marks inside 50, the Bulldogs were plus 6 and they were plus 11 in contested marking. The Bulldogs led for 100% of the match. My 3-2-1 for the Brownlow is B. Dale, Western Bulldogs, who had 39 disposals, 15 marks, 2 tackles, 867 metres gained and 1 goal assist. 2 votes to A. Norton, Bulldogs, who kicked 6 goals. He had 11 disposals, 6 marks, 1 tackle and 304 metres gained. 1 vote to A. Treloar, who had 1 goal, 31 disposals, 8 marks, 7 tackles, 9 clearances and 387 metres gained. The next game is between Adelaide and Essendon that was played at Adelaide Oval on a Friday night. The final score was Adelaide 11 goals 9, 75 to Essendon 10 goals 18, 78. The Bombers won by 3 points, but they should have won a lot more as they had 8 more scoring shots than Crows and kicked too many behinds. The goal kickers for the Crows were 2 goals to Keys and Dawson's, and singles to Walker, Rochelle, Jones, Fogarty and Solidigo, also including McHenry and Rankin. For Essendon, Langford and Jones both kicked 2 goals each, with singles to Martin, Gresham, Parrish, Hobbs, Stringer and Merritt. The best players for the Crows were Rochelle, Hinge, Solidigo and Dawson. For the Bombers, their best players were Gresham, Merritt, Martin and Caldwell. Both teams had no injuries for the match. During the game, both teams kicked 2 goals in the first quarter, with the Bombers taking a 2-point lead at quarter time. In the second quarter, both teams kicked 3 goals apiece, with Essendon taking a 5-point lead at half time. In the third quarter, the Crows kicked 4 goals to 3, but were still trailing by 3 points at 3-quarter time. In the final quarter, both teams kicked 2 goals apiece, with Essendon winning by 3 points. However, there was controversy. In the dying second, the Essendon ruckman Draper dived on the ball, and this was in 30 metres from the Crows' forward 50, and unfortunately for the Crows, the umpire did not give home the ball, where on replay, and on other nights, it could be given Horn the ball, so the Crows were a bit unfortunate with that decision. For the Crows, Saligo had 31 disposals, followed by Dawson and Hinge with 31 and 26 disposals, respectively. For the Bombers, Merritt had 28 disposals, followed by Martin and Gresham with 28 and 26 disposals, respectively. For the stats, Essendon were plus 14 in disposals, kicks were even, Essendon were plus 14 in handballs, marks inside 50, which was a significant factor. Essendon was plus 19. The efficiency inside 50, Essendon were minus 3, so this is what kept the Crows in the game with Essendon's poor kicking. The Bombers were plus 4 in free kicks. In stoppages, if you look at hitouts, Essendon were plus 3, and in clearances they were plus 1. In possession, for contested, Essendon were plus 5, and in uncontested possession, Essendon was plus 15, and in turnovers, which matters in stats, Essendon were minus 9, and teams that usually win the games are always in minus stats numbers for turnovers. For the game, Essendon led around 75% of the match, so they deserve to win the game. My 3-2-1 for the Brownlow votes are 3 votes to Jay Saligo of Adelaide. He had 1 goal, 31 disposals, 3 marks, 3 tackles, 10 clearances, and 411 metres gained. 2 votes to Jay Dawson, Adelaide. He had 2 goals, 31 disposals, 7 marks, 9 tackles, 3 clearances, and 734 metres gained. 1 vote to Zed Merritt of Essendon. He had 1 goal, 28 disposals, 2 marks, 5 tackles, 7 clearances, and 481 metres gained. The next game is between Collingwood and Port Adelaide, at which 65,834 people attended the match, which was at the MCG. Collingwood scored 17 goals, 21, 123 to Port Adelaide, 12 goals, 9, 81. Collingwood won by 42 points. The goal kickers for the Magpies were 4 goals to Lipinski, 3 goals to Mychek, 2 goals to Cox, Schultz and Hoskin Elliott, and singles to Hill, Elliott, McCready and McInnes. For the Power, Georgiades kicked 3 goals and 2 goals to Marshall, Powell Pepper, and singles to Bergman, Burton, Butters, Horne-Francis and Mead. The best players for the Magpies were Lipinski, Nick Dacos, Cameron, DeGoey and Hoskin Elliott. For the Power, their best players were Georgiades, Horne-Francis and Butters. Port Adelaide suffered an injury with Horne-Francis torn his hamstring. The Power had a brilliant start in the first quarter by kicking 6 goals to 3 to take a 17-point lead at quarter time. In the second quarter, Collingwood overpowered the Power by kicking 6 goals to 2 to take a 9-point lead at half time. In the third quarter, Collingwood kicked 5 goals to 2 to take a 33-point lead at 3-quarter time. And in the final quarter, Collingwood won this last quarter as well by kicking 3 goals to 2 to run out with a 42-point win. For Collingwood, Nick Dacos had 30 disposals, followed by DeGoey and Maynard with 27 and 22 disposals respectively. For the Power, Butters had 31 disposals, followed by Houston and Horne-Francis with 28 and 24 disposals respectively. For the stats, Collingwood were plus 50 in disposals, plus 13 in kicks, plus 37 in handballs. The inside 50, Collingwood were plus 19, and their efficiency inside 50, Collingwood were minus 1. But because they had so much inside 50, the efficiency of just -1 wasn't too much of an issue, given that they dominated the inside 50. For hitouts, Collingwood were minus 8. In clearances, they were plus 6. And for centre clearances, they were plus 7. For contested possession, Collingwood were plus 41. And uncontested, they were plus 22. And for turnovers, which is an important stat, Collingwood was minus 15. And if you're negative in this stat, usually you win the game, and Collingwood did. Collingwood led for 55% of the match. My 3-2-1 for the Brownlow are 3 votes to N. Dacos, who had 30 disposals, 2 marks, 4 tackles, 8 clearances, 757 metres gained, and 1 goal assist. 2 votes to Zed Butters, who had 1 goal, 31 disposals, 5 marks, 5 tackles, 3 clearances, and 574 metres gained. 1 vote to P. Lipinski, Collingwood, who had 4 goals, 16 disposals, 1 mark, 1 tackle, 3 clearances, and 309 metres gained. The next game is between Carlton and GWS. The final score were Carlton 17 goals 15, 117 to GWS 15 goals 8, 98. Carlton won by 19 points. The goal kickers for the Blues were 3 goals to Curnow, DeConnick and McKay, and 2 goals to Durden and Elijah Hollands. Singles to Cottrell, Oliver Hollands, Kennedy, and always. For the Giants, Riccardi and Kelly and Hogan all kicked 3 goals apiece, 2 goals to Bedford and singles to Buckley, Cadman, Daniels and Peatling. The best players for the Blues were Pitnott, McKay, Curnow, Walsh and Cripps. The best players for the Giants were Whitfield, Toby Green, Kelly and Hogan. For injuries, Williams had suffered an Achilles knock and Wiedering suffered a quad. There were no injuries for the Giants. The Blues won the first quarter by kicking 5 goals to 1 and led by 6 points at quarter time. In the second quarter, the Giants won this quarter by kicking 5 goals to 2 to take a 9-point lead at half time. In the third quarter, Carlton turned on by kicking 7 goals to 3 to take a 50-point lead at 3-quarter time. And in the final quarter, both teams kicked 3 goals apiece, with the Blues winning by 19 points. For the Blues, Cripps had 39 disposals, followed by Walsh and Hewitt with 35 and 31 disposals respectively, whereas for the Giants, Tom Green had 30 disposals, followed by Whitfield and Kelly with 29 and 23 disposals respectively. For the stats, the Blues were plus 31 disposals, minus 28 in kicks, plus 59 in handballs. The Blues were plus 3 inside 50, and their efficient inside 50 was plus 10 than the Giants. In terms of hitouts, the Blues were plus 13, and in clearances, they were plus 16, and for the centre clearance, they were plus 14. The turnovers, the Blues were minus 3, which is a positive sign in winning games, and the Blues had led for 55% of the game. My 3-2-1 for the Brownlow are 3 votes to P. Cripps, Carlton. He had 39 disposals, 2 marks, 7 tackles, 13 clearances, 401 metres gained, and 1 goal assist. 2 votes to S. Walsh of Carlton. He had 35 disposals, 4 tackles, 6 clearances, 511 metres gained, and 3 goal assists. And 1 vote to G. Hewitt of Carlton. He had 31 disposals, 2 marks, 1 tackle, 6 clearances, 335 metres gained. The next game is between Brisbane and Geelong at the Gabba, for which 30,429 people attended the match. Final score was Brisbane 4 goals 13, 37 to Geelong 9 goals 9, 63. The goal kickers for the Lions were 2 goals to Zorko and singles to Berry and McCarthy. For the Cats, Stengel and Oliver Henry both kicked 2 goals apiece and singles to Parfitt, Close, O'Connor and Bowes. The best players for the Lions were Dunkley, Wilmot, Ainsworth, Berry and Zorko. For the Cats, their best players were Duncan, Rowan, Holmes, Stengel and Guthrie. Both teams suffered injuries, with McInerney and Stewart both suffering concussion respectively. Both teams in the first quarter kicked 2 goals apiece, with the Lions leading by 4 points at quarter time. In the second quarter, Geelong won the quarter by kicking 2 goals to 1 to lead by 4 points at half time. And in the third quarter, Geelong won this quarter by kicking 2 goals to 1 to take a 9-point lead at 3-quarter time. In the final quarter, the Lions were goalless and only kicked 2 points, whereas the Cats kicked 3 goals and they ran to a 26-point win. However, this game did have extreme rain or wet conditions. For the Lions, Berry had 29 disposals, followed by Neil and Zorko with 28 and 26 disposals respectively. And for the Cats, Holmes had 24 disposals, followed by Duncan and Guthrie, Zach Guthrie with 24 and 21 disposals respectively. For the stats, the Cats were minus 42 in disposals, they were minus 12 in kicks, they were minus 30 in handballs, inside 50 they were plus 6, and their efficiency inside 50 was even for both teams. In headouts, the Cats were plus 30, and clearances were even, with Geelong leading plus 1 in centre clearances. The marks inside 50, the Cats were minus 2, their contested marks was -2 as well. Geelong had only led for 45% of the game, but it doesn't matter as long as you lead at the end of the game and you're the winner. My 3-2-1 for the Brownlow votes are 3 votes to the Zorko of Brisbane, who had 2 goals, 26 disposals, 8 marks, 6 tackles, 2 clearances, and 641 minutes gained. 2 votes to T. Stengel of Geelong with 2 goals, 17 disposals, 2 marks, 3 tackles, 2 clearances, and 373 minutes gained. 1 vote to J. Berry of Brisbane, who had 1 goal, 29 disposals, 5 marks, 4 tackles, 1 clearances, and 541 minutes gained. The next game is between West Coast and Fremantle, the next episode of the Western Derby. The final score was West Coast 16 goals 9, 105 to Fremantle 10 goals 8, 68. The goal kickers for the Eagles were 5 goals to Waterman, 3 goals to Reid, 2 goals to Darling, and singles to Yo, Williams, Marriage, Long, and Cripps. For the Dockers, Tracy, Sturt, and Jackson all kicked 2 goals apiece, and singles to Walters, Sharp, Johnson, and Emmett. The best players for the Eagles were Dogan, McGovern, Barras, Kelly, Waterman, Yo, Reid, and Williams. And for the Dockers, their best players were Sarong, Brayshaw, Darcy, and Fife. Amos had suffered concussion in the first quarter and was subbed out injured. For the Eagles, Yo had 26 disposals, followed by Kelly and Dynan with 24 and 22 disposals respectively. For the Dockers, Sarong had 27 disposals, followed by Fife and Brayshaw, who also had 27 disposals each. For the stats, West Coast were -30 in disposals, they were +10 in kicks, they were -23 in handballs, they were +8 inside 50s, and their efficiency inside 50 was +5, more than Fremantle. In terms of stoppage in hitouts, West Coast was -28. In clearances, they were -6, but in centre clearance, they were +1. In turnovers, West Coast was -15, and teams never usually lose when they're negative in turnovers. West Coast led for 98% of the match. My 3-2-1 for the Brownlow votes are 3 votes to J. Waterman of West Coast, who had 5 goals, 11 disposals, 8 marks, 2 tackles, and 253 minutes gained. 2 votes to H. Reid of West Coast, who had 3 goals, 9 disposals, 3 marks, 2 tackles, 7 clearances, 321 minutes gained, and 1 goal assist. And 1 vote to E. Yo of West Coast, who had 1 goal, 26 disposals, 3 tackles, 6 clearances, 507 minutes gained, and 1 goal assist. The next game is between Sydney and Gold Coast at the SCG, for which 35,649 people attended the match. The final score were Sydney 17 goals 8, 110 to Gold Coast 8 goals 9, 57. The Swans won by 53 points. The goal kickers for the Swans were 4 goals to Amati, 3 goals to Papali, 2 goals to Biggs, McDonald, and Haywood, and singles to Heenley, Warner, McInerney, Jordan, and Grundy. For the Suns, King kicked 2 goals, and singles to Walter, Miller, Humphrey, Fioroni, Clohisi, and Anderson. The best players for the Swans were McInerney, Amati, Gordon, Hapley, Heenley, and Grundy. For the Suns, their best players were Witts, Miller, Flanders, and Rao. The Swans jumped off to a flying start. In the first quarter, they kicked 5 goals to 1 to take a 19-point lead at quarter time. In the second quarter, the Swans were goalless and the Suns kicked 3 goals, with the Swans only leading by 11 points at half-time. In the third quarter, Sydney turned on by kicking 7 goals to 2 to take a 43-point lead at 3-quarter time. And in the final quarter, Sydney continued their domination by kicking 5 goals to 3 to run out to a 53-point win. For the Swans, Gordon had 30 disposals, followed by Heaney and McInerney with 28 and 26 disposals respectively. And for the Suns, Flanders had 34 possessions, followed by Fioroni and Miller with 27 and 23 disposals respectively. For the stats, Sydney were plus 34 in disposals, they had 13 more kicks, 21 more handballs, plus 8 in inside 50, and their efficiency inside 50 was 5% more than Gold Coast. In terms of stoppages, in hitouts the Swans were plus 1, Grundy had a real good day today, and in clearances they were plus 3, and the centre clearances were even for both sides. In terms of turnovers, Sydney were -1, and marks they were +18, and the time in front, Sydney led for 100% of the game. My 3-2-1 for the Brownlow votes are 3 votes to E. Gordon, Sydney. He had 30 disposals, 4 marks, 2 tackles, 4 clearances, 502 metres gained, and 4 goal assists. 2 votes to I. Heaney, Sydney. He kicked 1 goal, 28 disposals, 6 marks, 5 tackles, 2 clearances, and 492 metres gained. And 1 vote to J. Amadi, Sydney. He kicked 4 goals, 6 disposals, 2 marks, 3 tackles, and 154 metres gained. The next game is between Hawthorn and North Melbourne, for which 30,648 people attended the match at Marble Sam. The final score was Hawthorn 17 goals 11, 113 to North Melbourne 10 goals 8, 68. The goal kickers for the Hawks were 4 goals to Moore, 2 goals to Meek, Amon, Chow and Gilwin, and singles to McGuinness, McDonald, Morrison, Weddle and Gunston. For North Melbourne, Curtis and Larkey both kicked 3 goals, and singles to Tucker, Drury, Simpkin and Ford. The best players for the Hawks were Impey, McDonald, Nash and Newcombe, and for the Kangaroos, their best players were David Shinyaki, Curtis and Sheasel. North Melbourne suffered an injury with Ford hurting his hip. In the first quarter, Hawthorn won the first quarter by kicking 3 goals to 2, so they took a 7-point lead into quarter time. But it was in the second quarter where Hawthorn dominated, where they kicked 8 goals to 3 to run out to a 37-point lead at half time. And in the third quarter, both teams kicked 3 goals apiece, and Hawthorn led by 38 points at 3/4 time. And in the final quarter, Hawthorn won this quarter by kicking 3 goals to 2, and they won the match by 45 points. For the Hawks, Newcombe had 32 disposals, followed by Nash and Morrison with 32 and 26 disposals respectively, and for the Kangaroo, Diesel had 26 disposals, followed by David Giniaki and Scott with 23 and 21 disposals respectively. For the stats, Hawthorn were +53 in disposals, they were +47 in kicks, +6 in handballs, +11 in inside 50s, and their efficient inside 50 was +16. That was a significant difference. In terms of stoppage, Hawthorn was -13 in hitouts, -2 in clearances, and their stoppage clearances were also -3. In terms of contested possession, Hawthorn were +12, and for uncontested possession, they were +51. And in terms of turnovers, Hawthorn was -8, and it's good to be -8 in turnovers because majority of teams always win when they're in negative for turnovers. Hawthorn led for 90% of the game. My 3-2-1 for the Brownlow votes are 3 votes to J. Newcombe, Hawthorn, who had 32 disposals, 2 marks, 6 tackles, 9 clearances, 412 metres gained, and 2 goal assists. 2 votes to C. Nash, Hawthorn, who had 32 disposals, 5 marks, 8 tackles, 10 clearances, 344 metres gained, and 1 vote to D. Moore, Hawthorn, who kicked 4 goals, had 20 disposals, 5 marks, 1 tackle, 3 clearances, 211 metres gained, and 1 goal assist. Summary. My summary will be discussing who's leading my Brownlow after this week's games. In first spot is I. Heaney, Sydney, who's got 13 votes, and in joint second spot are both C. Sarong of Fremantle and C. Rosie of Port Adelaide, both on 10 votes. That's the end, and thanks for watching. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and comment on my channel. Every subscriber will be appreciated.